Hi there. Um, just thought I would do a video. I usually think about doing a video when my iPad is, not needing charge, but it's getting that way, And then when I charge it, I'm not looking at it. I'm maybe meditating. I get relentless knowledge all the time. It all started, like I say, from this unexpected spiritual awakening. And then relentless insights and knowledge starts pouring into you. All you're interacting with is the heaven self. And I want to talk about, something David Icke predicted. It's interesting. A few years into my awakening, can't remember how many years, but a few people said I sounded like David Icke, and I didn't know who he was. And my mum told me as well, and other people. And I looked him up on the internet, and one of the things he said in the 1990s, which is coming to pass now, David Icke said in the 1990s that in the future, we would end up having a cashless society. That they wanted to turn everything to one centralized system. And that is what's happening. People don't want to touch cash now. If you look at this coronavirus situation, it's got the ability to bring forward not only mandatory vaccinations, which people will probably demand, the way that it's going, but also people don't want to touch cash. So it's the perfect excuse for you to bring forward an electronic currency kind of thing. And that is what's going on. It's amazing. David Icke said other things as well, and I can't think on top of my head right now, but I watch his videos, and people say to him all the time, you predicted this, you predicted the other thing, and David Icke was laughed at, but he's not so laughed at now, I don't think. And even if you don't like conspiracy theories, you can still appreciate that someone has got information right, and that should make you question the system. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I might sound like one, but what happened to me was, like I said earlier in the video, I had an unexpected spiritual awakening, and I used to worship like doctors and lawyers and people that work for the system and people coming out of university. And the awakening showed me that I was completely delusional. And it's, once you have that unexpected awakening like I had, you realise that you're just repeating everything that you've been told. And that's what we consider ourselves to be. And then I started to question authority. I started to think, if the real self is this thing I'm ascending to in this awakening, then what was I before? So then you start questioning the system, and this is why I do that now. And the more I learn about the system, the more I realise there's something dodgy going on, because they don't even allow another opinion. I was watching, I didn't have it on, my little brother put on YouTube live. You get like live news channels on YouTube. And some of these people are crazy. They really are insane. And, the other thing about this coronavirus, they're trying to sell this to you. It's on the news channels all the time. And it's really they're trying to push this. You see, everything comes from the government. They create everything the official way, and then the news channels repeat it. And then they get brainwashed by it, and then anyone who watches the news gets brainwashed. They get brainwashed by it too. That's how it's run. Everything comes from the top. Another thing, I was watching another video yesterday and today on YouTube, and this guy was showing these figures, these stats, that people have died more from car accidents, from like losing children at birth, stuff like that, abortions, all different deaths, and the coronavirus is the least amount of deaths that someone's died from. So, that's something to think about also. So if more people have died from so many other things than this year, then why they try to push this? Because they want something out of it. There's a goal out of it. And the goal, I believe, is vaccinations, mandatory vaccinations, and a cashless society, leading to, like David Icke predicted, a smarts system which governs all things. And this makes you question, is government really separate? Because if it's gearing towards one system, then is it one system to begin with? It's very interesting. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about a group of people that control all the finance and everything. And I've watched these conspiracy theories, and I'm starting to think about it more. Is this what's going on? I'm not saying it is or isn't, but it makes you think. The way that things are going, it looks like what they predicted. And and that's where everything's going, to a cashless society. Because it's all about governing everybody and everything with one system, almost like a one world government. And like I said a minute ago, you got to ask yourself, is this the way it's always been? There must be a power. There's a power that governs everything. And what is the power that governs government? What is the force? I personally believe, well, it's not a belief, this is a fact, science fact, that everything's energy. And that as a collective, we create the energy. And that manifests itself lower down in form, and this will be the same in government. So the only way you can change reality is to change yourself. So in this situation, as an example of that, you got a coronavirus insanity, people going crazy because of the media, and people have to take responsibility and say, right, I'm not going to behave like that, like I've done. I decided I'm not going to panic buy, I'm not going to react like this, because I know the game. It's a game from the system to frighten people. And so I haven't reacted the same. And more people need to do this. Because the only power the system has over us is fear. Right? Stop reacting to it. The only power the system has over us is if we buy into the fear tactics, that's it. And if we comply with their game. Right? And so the people really, instead of buying into the fear, because lots of people haven't got coronavirus, and fear of, what they're trying to do is distance everyone. They're wanting to isolate everyone like they've done and stop people connecting. I said last year that they didn't want people that have had spiritual awakenings, they don't want them interacting with people. So they'll try and drag this on for as long as possible. Because they're terrified. I don't believe it's politicians, like I say. I don't think it's them. I think it's some force beyond them. They might not even be aware of it. And this force at its deepest core level is, of course, energy. Even if there was a bunch of people around a table doing it, they would only manifest and be there because of the energy. And what's happening just now, the reason this the system's doing all this stuff is because there's a global awakening happening. And this is why the demonic side of energy is reacting, because everything's returning to the divine creator, which is love. That's what's going on. But it's not going to, the awakening is not going to happen by me just talking about it. People have to take responsibility and go within themselves and awaken themselves. And that's how the awakening will do its thing. And don't buy into the fear, because the system has lost, and that's why they're coming out. When someone's lost, when you get a sore loser, they will react. And this global awakening is basically an exorcism. And the demon, which is the system, is lashing out. But it knows its days are numbered, you see. That's the thing, it knows its days are numbered. And, you know, and everything is within us, and we can create any reality we want. And so there's no need to be in fear, because understand, if these people are trying to make you afraid, then they must be afraid of you. How afraid are they of you before they try to make you afraid? And think of that. See, when you're panicky and reacting, you can't... I'm thinking of all these different ideas and theories because I'm calm. I've not felt stress once in this situation. I had a very bad cold about a month ago. And when you look at the coronavirus symptoms also, it just... I think it's just the flu or cold, but it's like an extended or more expansive version of it. Because it's the same symptoms, but they just give it a different name. And tried to sell it to you like it's worse. When more people have died of the flu, apparently. Apparently more have died, so... You know, so why are they talking about something when a lot few have died of coronavirus than other things? To impose what they want. Look what they're doing now. They're fining you if you go out the house. I mean, this is the world that people call free. This is called a free society. Come on now. This world is basically a mental asylum. Right, that's what it is. But the system imposing its will, and it's more in our face now what it's doing. Because it's trying to get to its end goal. And its end goal is complete slavery for everyone. Leading to our brains being linked with artificial intelligence. That's what this cashless society and deletion of money is all about, to get everything connected to AI. Because then humanity will be controlled by AI. The perceptions will be that of the artificial intelligence. Right? And that's the whole point. Even Bill Gates talks about a chip that can heal you and stuff. It's all planned. It's... You know, and when you're calmer, like I say, you can observe the whole picture. You can see the whole picture and where it's going. But when you're panicking and panic buying, you're not even thinking. You're just reacting to that reptilian brain. And the reptilian brain just responds to fear. It reacts, it doesn't think. It doesn't observe. And the reptilian brain is a real thing. You know, it's a real thing, so, but observe. And as you can tell by the way I'm talking, I'm very relaxed. You know, I've just went on my life as normal all through this thing. The only time I got upset was when I saw on YouTube people were dying. I was keeping up to date with it, with the Chinese news thing. And I didn't like people dying. But then I started to do a little research and I found out more people had died from other things. Then I started to observe the situation and why are they pushing this. Then I found out more information. And 5G also should be put in the mix. 5G, it's 60 gigahertz, brings on respiratory flu type conditions. And that came before coronavirus, so that should be questioned as well. People should think of that. You know, things just don't happen by accident when you've got a bunch of governments. So it's all planned and engineered because they have, there's a method to their madness. They have a plan, and that plan is human enslavement. And that's why I'm meant to be sharing this information now, because we are meant to be going through a global awakening. We are meant to defeat this evil. And everything's returning, like I said, to the divine creator, which is love, which is all of us. All is one. Thank you for watching. Thank you.